pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Norma, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Councilmember Tom Bagnell,
Present.
Councilmember Audrey Saavedra,
Present.
Councilmember Steve Hudson,
Here.
Mayor John Thompson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry, Councilmember Tatiana Murrieta, and Councilmember Eric Daniels.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Norma. Okay, under presentations, item 3 is a proclamation for the 55th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 5th through May 11th. Discussion only. The municipal clerks, I know, let's see, it was initiated in 1969 by the IMMC and is endorsed by all of its members throughout the United States and Canada. 15 other counties in 1984 and 1994, Presidents Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton respectively signed a proclamation officially declaring Professional Municipal Clerks Week, the first week of May, and recognizing the essential role of municipal clerks play in local government. Typical responsibilities, some of them are maintain the official council minutes, ordinance books, and all records and documents, indexes all official actions of council, issues license and permits, processes contracts and agreements, keepers of the community history and vital records, receives, distributes, and files correspondence from citizens and other government agencies, administers elections, registration, and voting, acts as a key liaison between local government and its citizens, handles significant financial responsibilities, including preparation of tax rolls, special assessments and budgets, provides central services such as personnel, purchasing, etc., secretaries, and records IMC, prepares to meet the member challenges of diverse role of the municipal deputy clerk by providing services and continuing professional development opportunities to benefit the members and government entities they serve. I would say we'll proclaim this Clerks Week, but they also serve as acting city manager when the city manager's away, because there's our clerk sitting right there at the city manager chair. So I'm going to read the proclamation now. They do a lot of different, wear a lot of different hats. Whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest amongst public servants, and where the Office of Professional Municipal Clerks provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and the agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on function of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education, programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now therefore I, John Thompson, Mayor of the City of Coolidge, do recognize the week of May 5th through 11th, 2024 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Norma Ortiz, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. And thank you, Norma, for all you do for us in the city. Item 4 proclamation, Letter Carriers Food Drive Day. The letter carriers out of Tucson sent us a letter wanting to remind everybody that Letters Carrier Food Drive Day is going to be May 11th, 2024. I will read the proclamation. Whereas every year on the second Saturday in May, letter carriers across the country collect non-perishable food as part of the nation's one-day food drive, distributing the donations to local food banks. And whereas the Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive is just one example of how letter carriers work to make a difference in the lives of those they serve. Since the pilot drive was held in 1991, more than 1.9 billion pounds of food have been collected. And whereas we recognize all letter carriers for their hard work and their commitment to their communities, all of the food collected in our community stays in our community, and we support carriers' efforts to help those in need in our community. And whereas we recognize the noteworthy milestones of 33 years that the National Letter Carrier Food Drive celebrates in 2024. Now therefore, I, John Thompson, Mayor of the City of Coolidge, do hereby proclaim Saturday, May 11th, 2024, as Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive Day in the city of Coolidge, Arizona. And further, I urge all residents of Coolidge to recognize our letter carriers and support the food drive by placing non-perishable food items near your mailbox on Saturday, May 11th, 2024. Together, we can fight hunger in our community. Okay. Don't forget to put something out there for the mailman. All right. Item 5, monthly report from the Coolidge Chamber of Commerce. Lynn?
We can blame it on Tony. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Our reinvestments for February were Kaywood Farms, Arcadian Insurance Agency of Arizona, Domino's Pizza, Renewal by Anderson, KB Homes, Ringo Canyon Granite LLC, Elks Lodge, Hope International Ministry Food Pantry, St. James Episcopal Catholic Church, and Orsted. Our new member was Century Complete. Our stats for February were our local visitors were 373, 27 in-state, 59 out-of-state. We did 2,466 referrals. Year-to-date was 798 visitors. Casa Grande Ruins for February was 16,008 visitors. Year-to-date, 29,794. Pinal Geology Museum, 170 visitors in February. Year-to-date is 355. DAV Museum visitors was 32. Year-to-date was 58. We had a great time with the State of the City. It was well-attended. Some great networking went on. We're working with Arizona at Work on educating employers and job seekers. We have a meeting tomorrow where they'll be able to give you guys more information and resources available. Working with the SBDC about business understanding the lending process, which is coming up in May 9th. I think those are really important things for the local businesses and resources. So some upcoming events. Of course, the Arizona at Work Community Meeting, which is tomorrow. Florence Copper Open House, April 23rd. United Way Gold Tournament is April 26th. Golf tournament. They said gold tournament. And then on April 27th, Bad Aces Martial Arts is going to have their grand opening from 4 to 7 p.m. April 30th, Cabot's going to have their reverse job fair, and if you've ever attended, that's pretty cool. And for more information, you can visit the website, coolidgechamber.org. Any questions?
Nope. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move into call the public. This is the time of the meeting where if anybody wants to address the council, please step forward to the podium, and you have up to 3 minutes to talk to us. And state your name and your address, please.
My address, my address is West School, Coolidge, Arizona. My name is Christina Cooper. Do I really have to say my address? No. I'm proud to say that I am a teacher. Been a teacher in Coolidge for 24 years. I taught this fine young man, Mr. Daniels, here. But right now, I am the president of the Coolidge Kiwanis Club, and we would like to ask for the permission to use the old pool house, bathhouse, I think it's called, the old bathhouse in San Carlos Park. We would like to turn it into a concession stand that our high school students would use to sell concessions out of on, like, during Coolidge days or Cotton days. And we have about 20 members in our little Kiwanis Club. And two of our members are wardens for Core Civic. They would like to furnish the labor and basically pay for all of the costs to remodel the building. So I'm just here to ask for your permission to allow the Kiwanis Club to remodel it, use it as a way to raise money for the Kiwanis Club. And the Kiwanis Club our sole purpose is to help the youth of Coolidge and to give back to them and empower the youth.
Christina, this item's on the agenda, item number 13. Are you
Yes.
gonna?
I'm just promoting it. This is like a
Oh,
little.
okay.
This is
Okay.
This is a commercial.
This is like a commercial?
This is, yes. So
Okay.
then when Ricky,
right.
I think Ricky is presenting it. When he talks about it, you'll say, "Oh, that lady Christina came and told us all about this."
Okay,
So this is just a commercial, and just to ask for your blessing, and hopefully you'll allow us to use the building.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there anybody else? All right. Then we'll move on to call the public. We'll move into approval of minutes.
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I move to approve item number 6 through 10 as presented.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that item carries. Moving to items for consent. Is there anybody on the council who wants any of those pulled off to deal with?
Mayor Thompson, I'd like to pull consent item 13.
Okay. Anything else? All right, then. Here we go. Item 11. Consider approval of entering into a fireworks display between the City of Coolidge and Fireworks Production, Arizona, for the purpose of providing a fireworks display show at the 2024 annual 4th of July celebration to be held at Kenilworth Sports Complex. Item 12. Consider approval of entering into an entertainment agreement between the City of Coolidge and Midway West for the purpose of providing carnival services during the 2024 Coolidge Days celebration. Item 14. Consider approval of accepting a Governor's Office of Highway Safety 2024 Buckle Up Arizona Enforcement Campaign Grant, MOU 2024-405B502, in the amount of $4,000 awarded to the Coolidge Police Department for expenditures related to the 2024 Buckle Up Arizona. It's the law enforcement campaign, authorizing the city manager and the police chief to execute the GOHS MOU agreement. Item 15, consider approval of authorization of services task order number 3 to the professional services agreement between the City of Coolidge and Kimberly Horn for the purpose of providing cultural and bio surveys on the airport property. Item 16, consider approval of cooperative purchasing agreement between the City of Coolidge and Franklin striping, for striping the city roads in an amount not to exceed $60,000 and authorizing the mayor to execute the necessary documents. And item 17, Consider approval of the claims for the month of March 2024. Okay, I need a motion.
Move to approve items number 11, 12, 14, 15, 17 as read.
Need a second.
Second.
A motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Moved to item 13. Consider approval of authorizing the city manager to negotiate an agreement between the City of Coolidge and the Kiwanis Club of Coolidge for the purpose of outlining expectations to repair and utilize the old bathhouse located in San Carlos Park for a concession stand for their events and activities. Okay, Mr. LaPaglia.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. I think Ms. Cooper, who many of you may not know I grew up with, and she's a wonderful educator. Two of my daughters had her as a teacher, and the fact that she's part of this organization should tell us all we need to know about the organization. But I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the use of or potential future use of the concession stand located at San Carlos Park. Councilmember Bagnell.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, and thank you guys for somebody finally taking the initiative to go after that because, you know, we have, San Carlos Park is a beautiful park. We have a full block right in the middle of town and beautiful park. But then we had that bathhouse that's been sitting there for years. It's been neglected. And you can tell it's been neglected. I mean, some of the concrete around the railing is even, you know, going away. So I want to thank you guys for taking the initiative of going ahead and doing that. I just have some concerns. I know that, you know, they're going to be going in and ripping out the interior and everything. And I hope we don't have any asbestos in there. Has that already been checked out?
So before any renovations begin, we will have to have it checked for asbestos, absolutely.
Okay. And then how's the roof on the thing too?
The roof is solid, actually. I mean, no leaks.
Wow.
The roof is very solid on that building.
Okay, and do we have any idea of what the cost is going to be? I mean, I know that we're going to get the inmate labor, but I know there's a lot of other things, and especially if we run into asbestos, then we've got a pretty big chunk that we're going to have to go at there.
Right. So we don't have a cost estimate yet. The organization that's going to donate the labor is going to put that together. I know it says that the city manager will negotiate the contract or the agreement between the club and the city. However, there are procurement requirements. So if it's going to exceed a certain amount, it would certainly have to come back for council's approval before we could proceed. If that number starts to get up there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe, but I mean, if we start to exceed a threshold, then we have to come back and get your approval anyway.
And you're going to use some of the money from the Coolidge Beautification Fund that we have set aside?
There is. I know we set aside about $25,000 that we could tap into for that. But however, the concern is asbestos and the high dollar stuff like that. If that, you know, that gets in the way, there's going to have to be some recalculation or some refiguring. But it's all preliminary right now. We're just hoping to get the ball rolling. In a perfect world, it would all be great, and we just start, and it's not going to cost us that much money. The building, however, is 70 years old. So over 70 years old, 1951 is what the plaque says outside the building. So, I mean, right now we want to get it started, get negotiations started, get the labor lined up. However, if we run into snags and we need to come back, then we absolutely will.
Okay. And now, while the Kiwanis and Key Club are going to be the ones that are taking the initiative on this, which is great, I want to make sure that, you know, I mean, that's not going to exclude other uses for the building by other groups, is it?
Well, yeah, I don't believe legally we
I didn't
other
think
people
so,
from
yeah.
using the building. We would, however, let them use it during certain events. But if somebody else wants to throw an event, a fundraiser, you know, we can't, you know, legally keep anyone from utilizing a city facility if they follow all the policies and procedures. do it.
And then is there anything that we're going to do to make the, to make it ADA compliant?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. Our building official, Dennis, was there with us when we were walking the building, and that's sort of his expertise, and we'll have a lot of conversation. It's my understanding, once you get into renovations, you have to bring it up to code, so that's certainly something we're not going to want to get ourselves in trouble with. Dennis can help us with that as the process goes along, as well as Gilbert is sort of the liaison between the city and all the ADA compliance. So we certainly would not forego any ADA responsibilities we would have once we enter into renovation.
Right, and because I know, is this going to also include the restrooms that are available, to the, on the outside? That I know we've had problems in the past because every time they fix them, people go in and.
Right. So this particular, what they're donating the labor for, sort of yes and no. They've talked about wanting to renovate the bathrooms. They said they would donate the labor. Our public works director and myself talked a little bit about getting the bathrooms up and going. Essentially, to make them look better wouldn't be difficult. The concern and why they were closed in the past, not just due to vandalism, but was also our connection to the sewer and getting everything to flow properly and what's going on with those pipes, So that would probably be beyond the scope of what the donated labor would do. But we may have to tackle internally.
Okay. All right, so and again, I think, I fully support what you're doing. I think it's fantastic that you guys are taking that initiative, and I just wanted to, be sure, because, and I'm glad that there's gonna be an agreement, because I think we kind of got ourselves in a little bit of a problem without not having an agreement on another piece of property here in town with, a memorial that was on it, so it's good to get it in writing and make sure that all parties know all their responsibilities and that they follow through on that, so. So anyway, thank you, I appreciate it, and, again, thank you guys for taking that initiative, appreciate that as well.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ricky. I guess basically all we're going to do is give it the once over and see what all it's going to take, and then we'll go from there, basically.
Yeah, kind of get the ball rolling, get the process starting, but like I said, it starts to reach certain numbers, I believe we'd have to come back to get council approval to spend that money anyways, so.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I have one question. So, I was reading in there that they're wanting to put their logo or whatever on the side of the building. And I think that, the Lions Club did stuff down there before and they have a plaque. I was just wondering if if we want to get into that type of thing of putting, groups' logos on the building, or could we do a plaque? And do you know what other jurisdictions do?
That's a good question. I know most jurisdictions will lean towards the plaque. But I have seen actual murals, and that's kind of what they're talking about, the Kiwanis logo on the side of the building. Vice Mayor, that's not for me to decide. I could go either way. I don't mind the mural just because it'll look good and will hopefully hinder some graffiti. I mean, the guys have been painting over that bathhouse once a month for whoever knows how long. But if you're more comfortable with the plaque, that's something we'd probably you'd have to let the city manager know if he's working on the agreement with them, that maybe ask those questions and see which way he wants to go. I like the plaque. I mean, we put that up just about every building, the pool we built, there's one at the adult center, the women's, I mean, they're everywhere that the city is. I like that too, and then if it ever changes, you take the plaque down and give it to the organization. But
And the other thing you brought up was graffiti. If they paint that on there, is somebody going to come in and graffiti over that?
yeah, well, the concern is on that is you would hope it would deter graffiti, but you never know. And it's not so if they graffiti a building, that building in particular, because we have plenty of paint for it, we just go and paint over it. If they graffiti a mural, that's not something our staff, I mean, we're not artists, we can't go fix that for 'em. Not so that's something that could be on there for a while until we got someone equipped to change it. And so it is a legitimate concern.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
No?
All right.
If no further discussion, I make a motion we approve or agenda item number 13.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion carries.
Thank you.
So we'll move into regular items, but it looks to me like we need a motion to table this item.
We're requesting that item 18, and we'll bring it back. There's a couple things we want to add to the ordinance, so we'll bring it back at probably the next meeting.
Okay, so I need a motion to table 18.
Mayor, move to approve tabling number 18, ordinance number 24-07.
Second. Okay. Oh, it's a roll call, go ahead. Well, no, not to table it, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're out of that. Report from the mayor and council. We're down here with Councilmember Bagnell.
Okay, first, want to give a shout out to the Public Works guys and the trash day on Saturday. Had a really great turnout. I took some of my trash there and I went to get out to help them unload it. And by the time I was out of my truck and had one glove on, they were 90% done with it and trying to push me out of the way to get me to go on. But they did, the guys did a terrific job. People were coming in and out of there like crazy, and there was a lot of stuff coming in. Talking to Mr. Navarro, and he said, well, I hope they keep coming. I said, well, why do you do that? He said, well, at least they won't put it in the alley or on the side of the road, and we have to go pick it up there. And I said, well, that makes sense. So, but it really, very good turnout for that. I also went to the AP house out at the Pinal County Fairgrounds. They had it on Tuesday and Thursday night regarding their connecting power lines and putting in new substations in the southern part of, area south of town, which affects not only Coolidge but also Eloy. And they're looking at putting in a couple of substations, and one of them is right there, near Inland Port, Arizona. And they did assure me at that time, and I think they'd already been talking with Mr. Lopez and Mr. Miller, and they said they were going to try to push it as far to the east as they could of the alignment of the north-south freeway. So that's a good thing. So, and other than that, that's about it. Thank you.
I also wanted to say thanks for working on Saturday. I know we were part of the tree trimming and we've lots of scratches to prove it, but the backyard looks great. I also just had a couple questions about how our food trucks work. I know it's been several months and I keep getting questions about, do food trucks in the city of Coolidge that are parked sort of long-term, do they pay fees to the city? What is the impetus to keep them, at particular spots? If we're looking at a park in the future, do we want a space for them where children aren't running around a parking lot? I mean,
This isn't agendized, but I think you can give a brief answer, Gilbert.
Yes, Mayor Thompson, Councilmembers Fedra. Food trucks are covered in the zoning code, and the way we've done them for quite a while is if you have a business that is established and has parking that's approved, then if that business is willing to allow a food truck in there, then that food truck can, apply for a business license. It comes through planning and zoning, or actually planning, and then we review it and approve it. So there are stipulations in there. If somebody complains, then it goes to P&Z to look at the hours they operate and that type of thing. So as long as there are no complaints, and they have a business license, they can stay there and operate. But they still have to maintain the signage, don't put too many banners up, and all the regular things that have to be followed. And I know we're looking at a model code that our attorneys provided us from the League of Cities and Towns, where we can look at changing that, revamping it, a little more modern, I guess. So if something shows up without a business license, we can tell them they have to move because they get fined if they don't. So sometimes they'll sneak in on weekends, and maybe we could have police help us with that, or if we do weekend code enforcement, that kind of thing. But that's generally how it works.
Sure.
Yeah, and
So
I
they-
can send you more information.
I would like that.
Okay, I'll send it to everybody. And then and we're looking to change that, so it'll be what's current right now, and then what's coming up potentially. Does that help?
Or what do other cities do to kind of,
Yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios of what other cities do. Some don't allow them at all. Some have them in one place once a month. Mesa's tried to do it in a place, and then all local residents complained because it got too big, and then they had to move it. So sometimes they work, and sometimes you have to change them. Is that enough?
thank you.
Is that good? Thank you.
Yeah, I attended the State of the put on by the chamber. It was a great turnout, and you did a great job. The food was fantastic,
Great.
and well attended. Thank you.
I also attended the Mayor's State of the City address, probably one of my favorite events every year. Sadly, this will probably be one of my last ones for a while, but yeah, great job, Lynn. The food was delicious. A lot of great ideas and updates from the mayor, and that's all I have.
I too want to thank Public Works Director Navarro and his staff. We did definitely take advantage of it. Hey. But anyway, thanks so much.
Norma, you have anything?
Sorry about that. I'm writing notes here. I don't. Rick is out the rest of the week, and we'll be back Monday. Business as usual. Everybody's doing a great job. Thanks to all our departments, our great directors, and so I'm available this week if anybody needs anything. I'm available every day. I do want to add, though. I was going to say earlier when you read the proclamation. Now I understand why I'm so tired after 40 years. But as city clerk, I've been city clerk since 2000, so I just want to thank you guys for acknowledging. We tend to forget, and when that proclamation comes through every year, I tell Sienna, not again, it's that time again. So I just want to thank you guys for acknowledging me. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for the job you did.
Yeah, I can't do it without my assistants, we have a great team, so.
Thank you. Ben, your crew did a great job. Thank you. All right, that's all I've got. Need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Thank you for coming, everybody.